Hi, it's David at Artist David Smith. So I've been asked to draw a female clown. So that's what the drawing's going to be. Now, not had it specified as to what type of female clown that the person wanted. So I'm going to try and do two different variants. So what you can see here is a very faint outline of a girl's face. So a bit like we did the Day of the Dead girl, just starting with a face, yeah? So if you refer to the other videos, which I've done, what I'm going to do is just detail out the face as I would if I was doing any sort of portrait. So I will put the eyes in great detail. Now what I'm going to try and do is do enough of the video to show you what I'm going to be doing, and then speed up the rest of the video so you can see it happen but not in real time, so it just quickens the whole process up. Now again, probably working a little bit darker than I normally would at this stage, but I'm just going to try and get the details in. So this particular clown, which I'm going to do, is going to be, I suppose, slightly sad, but I suppose a friendly sort of clown in this one. So just like with the other videos, I'm going to block in some of the darker areas just for me to key into. So what I found is if you're doing something like this, just like with the Sugar Skull girl, find an image to work from, what you like the look of, rather than look for female clown or Sugar Skull girl with the makeup, because you might not get the pose, the look, what you're after. So the look I've gone for, I want this slightly melancholy, slightly sad expression, which is often synonymous with clowns, given the irony of what it is that they do. They're there to make everybody laugh, and they're often referred to as the saddest people in the circus. So that's kind of what I'd got in mind when I was doing this. So that's the kind of the look what I'm going for. So just like with how to draw a realistic face and how to draw a realistic eye, if you refer to those videos, that'll give you a fair idea of all these stages which I'm going to go through. So you can break it down into individual parts. Now what we're doing is really accentuating the eyebrow. We're making out as if it's all been made up. Obviously a real eyebrow wouldn't look anything like that, so we're overdoing the lashes. And what I'll do is I'll probably pop a touch of colour on to draw attention to certain areas. So we're going to build the eyes up, heavily made up, rather than some daft little foam nose or anything like that. What I'm going to do is probably show it as if it's been painted on in makeup. So even when it's made up, you've got to allow for highlights. So again, underneath the nose, and again refer to the video about drawing the nose. So underneath the nose, remember the highlights. So even though it's painted on, it's still going to pick up lights in and around the room. So that is what's going to give you your 3D effect. So I'm kind of going to intimate that the nose has been painted at this point. I think as well what we're going to do, typical with clown makeup, I'm going to have the points coming down the face, and everything we're doing on here I'm going to replicate over here when I speed the video up. So what we'll do is as well, we'll kind of do some sort of blusher onto the cheek, and then when we get to the lips, now normally you wouldn't go round the lips quite as strong, but because they're going to be heavily made up anyway, it helps us in this case. We can draw the lips in again as per the videos, which I've got on there as reference anyway. So again, from the centre, stroke those lines out. Well, then we're going to extend the sides of these out. Again, obviously for the traditional type of clown makeup around the mouth area. Now, because the lips would have had to have been heavily made up to paint this on anyway, we can go a little heavier around the edges of the lips than we normally would if we were drawing this as a standard portrait. So that's kind of laying now the groundwork for our standard clown face. Now, what I'll probably do is, as well, I'm going to have some sort of wig on here as well. And again, you're going to see me put a lot more detail into this off camera, or on the sped up version of this, should I say. Additional details. We'll have like a ruffle around the neck. So again, a lot of this, what I'm putting in at the moment, very loose, but it's giving me scale from which to work to. So everything I know is to scale, works together. I'll then probably extend the wig up into the top here, Again, I'm probably just slipping off of the shot at the moment, but I'm going to finish this off with a typical pointy clown type hat. So again, we're roughing this in. But again, you can see now, just with that standard face, how applying the makeup, we've started to change it. Again, once you see the sped up video, you're going to see it change again, because then it'll really draw it all together. So I will just stop this one and then start the next video, which will then be sped up. So thanks for now, and I'll catch you at the end. Alright, so here we are. We've done the speeding up part of all this. So I've brought both sides up now to somewhere so you can start to get a feel for this, I suppose, friendly clown, although, as we've mentioned, a little bit sad. I'll finish this off a camera so that the video doesn't end up being too long, but it shows now from taking that basic drawing which we had, how we've now got to this point. Now, the other version which I thought I would do is again showing you how we can go in the other direction. So if we were wanting to turn this into an evil clown, even though we've still got the same outline that we started with the other one, I'll actually just raise that up a little bit because I can still see through. That'll help. Alright. Yeah, so as I was saying, evil clown this time. So what we're going to do is, initially we're going to handle the eyes very differently. So although we start off in the same way, we're going to heavily make up these eyes, but we're not going to do the eye detail. We're going to have it so that it's as if it's got white eyes with just tiny little pupil in the middle. So bring these up at the same time. And again, you'll have seen it on, I suppose, various films or even Halloween makeup now with the use of contact lenses. It's quite a popular look. So you could go for the complete white eye, you could go for the black eye, soulless, I suppose a bit like a shark's eye. And what I'll probably do is I'll knock these down a touch as well, because that's probably a little bit darker than I would have liked. But it's obviously trying to show you on camera the effect I'm trying to achieve as well. So still going to blend it as if it was the normal eye. So we're going to have shading around the top edge where the eyelid hangs over the eye, to the side because our model slightly in shade at this side. But instead of the normal pupil like we did on the other version, we go for this tiny little pupil right in the middle, and just the merest intimation of the iris around there. All of a sudden we've changed massively from this style through to this. Starts to become a lot more sinister. In addition to that, around the eye we will put in the eyelashes still, but I'm going to be really working into this area, so as if the makeup's kind of been really drawn down, as if it's run. Just a lot more, I guess, sinister in that regard, as if it's like a deep set eye. So obviously I've got to put this in first, this deep shading, before I then put the eyelashes in. Eyebrows, start changing the shape of that as if it's been made up as well. A lot thinner. But once this eye makeup's all been blended in and around this area. Don't forget to put the lid if you're doing it this way. Still going to put the details in to pull this kind of look off. I'm going to drag this eye makeup out. So it's very bitty, it's very smudged. Dragging it down the cheekbone. And again, I'll replicate this on the other side as I do that other version. Now, what we're probably going to do is we're not going to go for the cutesy blusher circles or anything like that on the sides of the face, or even the clown nose as such. We may just have something very small, maybe as if it's kind of fading off, very bitty I suppose towards the top. We still are going to have white the face out, so you're still going to have the shades underneath the nose area, so don't forget about that. But when we get to the mouth, this is going to be where we really see another big change. So we're going to put the dark area in like we would if we were drawing a normal pair of lips. Again, if I can put a bit of colour on this later, it'll really bring this effect to life. So I'm going to do this with the lips, just like we did in the lip video. Again, refer to that and put that detail in. But then what we're going to do, I suppose a bit like the Batman Joker smile, we're going to drag this darkness, and then what I'll do is I'll blend some deep blood red into this around the mouth as well. I'm going to draw that up the sides of the face. And again, it wants to look grubby, it wants to look mucky. Once you start getting the dark blood red in there as well, it's going to look like it's dried on blood as well as a touch of wet. It's going to look downright crusty and sinister. That's the effect we're going to go for, and we can drag certain elements of this down as well. So for those who actually know me, drawing clowns, or clowns in full stop, not really my bag. I do not like clowns at all, which my children find hilarious. But for my generation, anybody who watched Poltergeist would understand why, the original Poltergeist, not that rubbishy version what was released a few years back. So you'd understand why I don't like clowns if you'd seen that film. But not wanting to shirk away from a challenge, I thought I would give it a go. So again, we're going to blend this out just like we did with the other girl. We'll do all her shading as per normal, and we can even pick out little bits of detail on the skin, really, I suppose like aging spots, things like that, if we're going to go for it, let's go for it in style. I will then add the ruffle like with the other one, but what I'm going to do is I will age up, I will rip the ruffle, really go to work on it. Same with the hair. I'm going to have it a lot more probably lank, loose and dishevelled on this one. Still going to have that intonation of still that clown face about it, so that original kind of clown makeup with the lines above and below the eyes, but we've just now really gone that evil clown look. So again, I want to draw attention to the mouth and drag that grubbiness around. Okay, so with the same face, we've got two very different versions. We've now got your classic evil killer clown type look, or the original melancholy but friendly clown look, but again using the same face, just two different approaches to how we then apply the makeup in this case, or the styling. So cutesy look, sinister look. Again, I will finish these off a camera, so it's not dragging the video out any longer than necessary, but you'll see the finished pieces at the end. But thanks for the suggestion. I've really enjoyed having a crack at this. If anybody else wants me to cover anything, please leave a comment in the box. Carry on subscribing, carry on liking, and I will catch you on the next video. But look after yourselves, guys, and thank you very much. Bye bye.